welcome back to another week of Healing in Gemini. This week's episode does touch upon self-harming and suicide. Both topics are really heavy and can be triggering, and if you feel the need to skip this episode, please do so, and we will see you next week. September is Suicide Awareness Month, and I wanted to share my experience to hopefully let others know they are not alone in their thoughts and feelings. I first dealt with suicidal thoughts in middle school. Now we know that middle school is already tough, everyone is going through puberty, hormones are raging, and kids are just downright mean. I really felt alone in my feelings and what I was going through and felt like I could not speak to anyone because they just wouldn't understand. I mean, how could they, right? The feeling of being misunderstood became too much for me, and I convinced myself that the world would be a better place without me. Now I did try to take my own life, but luckily didn't. Although this is sad to say out loud, it wasn't my thoughts that changed and prevented me. It was more of a too scared to see the thought through fully. Following my attempt to take my own life, I did start self-harming, and I ended up confiding in a teacher within my middle school who I felt very close to, and he ultimately told my mom, and that's when I first started to go to therapy. Unfortunately, I didn't stay in therapy too long, which I felt did me a disservice as it only made me feel more misunderstood. And now I would be lying if I said that I'm fully healed from such thoughts, but I can positively say that the thoughts no longer consume me. This was in the early 2000s, where the suicide rate was 10.9 per 100,000 people according to the CDC. There are no official numbers for 2024, but in 2023 that number jumped to 14.7 deaths per 100,000 people, and there was a reported 1.5 million attempts of suicide in 2023. And that is alarming. And although it can be uncomfortable to talk about, it is a topic that needs to be discussed and not seen as a taboo. Oftentimes people think the signs are so clear, it's so obvious when someone is depressed, but if we look at well-known cases such as Chester Bennington from Lincoln Park and Robin Williams, it's not all black and white. Chester Bennington's wife even posted a video of him having dinner with his family, laughing and looking happy right before he committed suicide. Even when I go through my lows, there's still a high-functioning part of me that can smile and look like I'm okay, for lack of a better word. Depression does not always look like an all-consuming illness where someone has disassociated from everyone and everything they know and love, although it can look like that as well. But there is a huge gray area in those of us that can turn the happiness facade switch on and get through just one more hour, one more day. I feel that as a society, we have come to a normalization of disconnection, like a true lack of empathy with each other. The world has become more of a me, myself, and I mentality. And although this mentality is appropriate in certain situations, we still need each other. We're still social creatures. Dr. John Draper, who has over 25 years experience in crisis and suicide prevention, discusses the 3 C's in suicide crisis response as connection, collaboration, and choice. Connection is the ability to make the individual feel understood and heard. Collaboration involves working with the individual to investigate and identify a solution or solutions. And choice is empowering the individual by involving them in the decision-making process for their own care and recovery. Dr. John Draper's point on connection, I feel, is spot on. Connection can make the biggest difference in an individual's life. As previously stated in the very beginning of this episode, I felt misunderstood, I felt unheard, and it led me to just a huge void and a huge feeling of loneliness that I couldn't overcome. And this is not to put blame on others. I could have done more to reach out or spoken to someone to make me feel less lonely. The issue lies in, will there be a connection if I do tell someone how I feel, or will my feelings be dismissed? I wish that there was a magic wand that we could just wave and everyone would focus on making the world a kinder place where we actually care about each other. The worst is knowing or seeing that we can show solidarity, that we can be humans and have that empathy, but it's only really shown in times of tragedy, which is sad. We have to start being kinder to each other. We have to start showing compassion, because at the end of the day, you truly never know what someone is going through. And for this episode, I just wanted to bring awareness to suicide prevention, because it is something that we need to continue talking about. Mental health is important, and I just don't want others to feel they have no place to turn to or anyone to talk to. And I really thank you for allowing me the space to open up and share my story with you. And if you are listening to this and feeling any of those feelings, I hope I see you, I validate your feelings, and I'm sending you so much love. There are resources that you can definitely just reach out to a teacher, a friend, a family member that you feel will validate you and hear you and just show you love and not judgment, because that's truly what's important here. We can't continue to judge those who have mental health issues. We have to take it seriously. We can't keep just shoving these feelings and these things under the rug. And if that doesn't feel like enough, there is a suicide and crisis lifeline. If you text or dial 988, it's 24/7, and there are mental health professionals that can help, and they will listen and just provide you with that comfort, knowing that you're not alone. And I thank you for listening, and we will see you next week. Sending so much love and light to you guys.